Hello, welcome back. We're doing Chapter 4, Section 3, Writing Functions. I'm doing the guided practice problems in the textbook, and these are problems 9, 10, and 11, which is on a separate sheet of paper. Now, for these problems, there's no context. We're not going to use this as like a story. We're just simply going to evaluate. This is just practicing this evaluating skill. And again, this is something that you should have come up already with you. So it should have already been in your Algebra 1 class that you had in the 8th grade. Also, you probably did a little bit of this. I know you did it in any of the Math 6 or Math 7 classes that you did. All right? So we keep reteaching it so that you get comfortable with it. It's not something that we totally expect everyone to catch on the first day. All right? It's something that you learn by repetition and by doing it over and over again. All right? So let's try to explain it one more time. So I have a function f of x, and what f does in all these functions, that one's named g and the next one's going to be named h. So the letter is just the name of it. But f takes a number x, and since we don't know what number, we can use a lot of different numbers. That's why we use a placeholder. But whatever that number is, we're going to multiply by 7 and we're going to add 2. All right? So we're going to test this by saying, well, what happens if x equals 0? So like I explained in the previous video where I did this, with a pencil, I write, let me put my cap on before that dries out. I would write this, I'd put parentheses around the x, I'd erase the x's, and then I'd drop that 0 in there. The end result of that, since I'm using my Sharpie, the end result of that, make it more like an F, is I want to find x when x equals 0. So I do f of 0 equals 7 times 0 plus 2. So I just replaced the x with a 0. That's called substitution. That's a skill you're going to be learning. And now I'm going to simplify this in order to figure out what the result is. 7 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 2 equals 2. So f of 0 equals 2, and you can leave it just like that. We talked about in the other video about not putting the equal signs in there. That causes confusion. And believe it or not, so we wanted to avoid that. Let's do the same thing, except this time x equals 1. So I'm going to say f of 1 equals 7 parentheses. I'm using parentheses to hold its place, and it's going to multiply, plus 2. Multiply first. 7 times 1 is 7, and 7 plus 2 equals 9. And that's all you have to do for that one. Moving on, problem number 10. I wish that the camera on my iPad lined things up, matched up with my paper. G of x is going to be 4x minus 9. We're going to try x equals 3 and x equals 5. So G of 3 equals 4 times 3, using parentheses, minus 9. 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 minus 9 equals 3. And again, I'm going at my own pace, so if you need to rewind and watch this again or pause it, feel free, okay? G, I'm going to use 5 now, of 5, 4 times 5, using parentheses, minus 9. 4 times 5 is 20, and 20 minus 9 equals 11. And that's all that you have to do for that one. And like I said, problem number 11 is on a separate sheet of paper. Here it is. Oh no, there's a fraction. It's okay, don't panic. You can do it. H of t is 1/3 of t, which means divide by 3. Multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3. You can divide by 3. And after I do that, I'm going to subtract 10. All right? So I'm going to try t equals 27 and then negative 15. So just like last time, I'm going to start by writing h of t equals 1/3 of t minus 10. Except when I said t, what I actually did was I left open empty parentheses. And I'm going to fill that in with 27. All right, you can do this. 1/3 of 27 means the same as 27 divided by 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 subtract 10, if I have 9, but I need to take 10 away from that to go to like using the takeaway phrase. I don't have enough. So what I end up with is a negative number that equals -1. Let's try h of -15 equals 1/3 times -15 minus 10. All right, so 15 divided by 3 equals 5. But I'm finding -15 divided by 3, or 1/3 of -15. A positive number times a negative number, or even a negative divided by a positive, is going to give me a negative. So I get -5. And that's -5 subtract 10. Now the next part, -5 subtract 10, I know this gets a little confusing. One way to think of it is this is -5 plus -10. So if I owe someone $5 and I owe someone else $10, I owe a total of 15, which means -5 minus 10 equals -15. Okay, so those are the problems for the guided practice. Ask questions in the discussion, and good luck on the homework.